Hey everyone, this is Chris Davis, your video and feature producer here at 4Player Network, and this is my list of the most exciting games to look forward to at E3 2015. I will admit that there are times in which I wish I would have been born just a few years earlier, just to play some games that I unfortunately bypassed in my youth. I played few PC games prior to entering high school apart from such classics as TIE Fighter, Jane's Combat Simulations titles, Descent, Doom, Wolfenstein, and a few others. There are so many games I wish you could go back and play today without being jaded by the graphical and gameplay innovations that arrived well after they disappeared from store shelves. And XCOM is one of those series that is near the top of the list. After getting my hands dirty with XCOM Enemy Unknown 3 years ago, diverting scores upon scores of hours towards the perfect playthrough by way of save scumming, I became just a tad obsessed with this series. And really, what's there not to enjoy here? A top-secret Illuminati-esque organization tasked with defending Earth against alien invaders and gameplay that focused on tactics, research, character growth, and turning the extraterrestrials' own tools and weapons against them? It's love at first sight for me. XCOM 2, announced only a handful of days ago, has me infatuated all over again. Shifting focus from being the response team to one that's on the attack, turning your unit essentially into the new invaders this time around after humanity has been subverted by the alien coalition, sounds fantastic. Stealth-based combat, coupled with melee attacks and procedurally generated maps, sounds exceptionally enticing, but more importantly, changes the nature of the game. What possibilities could await us? Will the new XCOM base be bound to Earth, or will it exit the atmosphere and go into orbit? What technology has been invented and refined in the past 20 years since the end of the first intergalactic war? Will this war be fought in the shadows, or will I be able to gain the support of former countries around the world and unite humanity in an effort not seen before? These and many more questions await us at the LA Convention Center, and I can't wait to find out the answers. In retrospect, I really don't know what was more amazing. That we received a new entry in the Deus Ex series almost a decade after Invisible War concluded the story of J.C. Denton? Or that this prequel to the original game would be so damn good and true to the formula established by Warren Spector and his crew at Ion Storm. Deus Ex, easily one of the most innovative first-person titles ever created, is a hard act to follow. But somehow Eidos Montreal did it in 2011 with Human Revolution. When we were first introduced to newcomer Adam Jensen, nearly a quarter of a century before J.C. Denton would take on Majestic 12 and inadvertently almost bring about a new dark age for mankind, we saw a man that was bitter, vengeful, and determined to discover who kidnapped his girlfriend and forced him to become augmented. Jensen traveled around the world, unraveling a vast conspiracy that was the heart of the moral divide over human augmentation, and stopped the machinations of a madman. It could have ended there, and if you're like me and chose to let humanity decide for itself the future of augmentation, chose to end Jensen's life alongside everyone else on Panchaea, you would be left satisfied that you saved the world without succumbing to the influences of the power-hungry manipulators around you. Eidos Montreal, it seems, didn't think that should be the end of Jensen's story, and so we had this new entry with the title Mankind Divided. Taking place sometime after the events of Human Revolution, Jensen, now a member of an augmentation reaction force within Interpol, is no longer the man we knew. Adam, once determined to save the world, feels that he failed at Panchaea, as the world still reels from the events of the last game, with the augmented reviled worldwide, relegated to being second-class citizens. Mankind Divided, it seems, doesn't want to be just a reaction story to how humanity deals with such a horrific event. It could be a tale of acceptance of who you have to become. Adam once hated what he had become, and now appears willing to own up to the events that have shaped up his life. Deus Ex Mankind Divided may have one of the heaviest burdens upon it out of all the sequels that will appear at E3 2015. How do you build on a previously well-told story while bridging the gap towards a future that's already established, like Deus Ex 1 was? What does this unexpected story mean for the likes of a character that seemed determined to not survive his final mission in the previous title? How will it conquer some of the gameplay failings people lamented about Human Revolution? Like any good conspiracy, I look forward to unraveling, or at the very least, tugging at a few loose threads of it on the E3 show floor.
I used to really love Halo. From the games to the novels, the comic books to the films and animated shorts, I was all over the adventures of the Master Chief John 117 in his bid to save humanity from the genocidal alien alliance known as the Covenant. Over the course of 5 games, we experienced his battles and those of his allies, with novels interwoven between each title that told different stories on a grand galactic scale. I enjoyed every minute of these stories. And then Halo 4 came out. Despite continuing the story and tackling series elements that had never been in the games before, what I got to play simply wasn't what I came to expect from a Halo experience. The Prometheans simply weren't fun to fight against. The combat wasn't as engaging, and the story lacked any satisfying punch thanks to its villain and the sad climactic ending of a beloved character. After Halo 4, I stopped reading the novels and stopped paying attention to the transmedia projects that arrived after it. I was just about to completely ignore Halo 5 Guardians until this week, when we received word that this new entry was going to go places I had only dreamed of. 343 Industries has revealed the exciting news that we will, for the first time in the games, get to see John's Blue Team, composed of the wonderful characters Linda, Fred, and Kelly, who not only will be present throughout the story, but also as playable co-op characters for you and your friends to suit up as. If you remember reading The Fall of Reach all those years ago, or perhaps never had the chance, now would be an excellent time to pick up a copy and find out why, or remind yourself why, people really enjoyed these characters. In addition, Oni Operative Locke, who's charged in this game with hunting down the AWOL Master Chief, has his own set of companions, including none other than the ODST star Buck, played by Nathan Fillion. From classic, unseen characters and returning heroes, to new and still untested ones, Halo 5's campaign certainly seems like it has potential. Can it rid me of the animosity that I felt for the last entry in the series, though? Well, there's a reason why it's number 3 on my list. I simply have to find out.
Is just beginning.
Bethesda's newly announced title is simultaneously one of the best and worst kept secrets in the industry today. For years, we have known that this game was coming, and the past 12 months have yielded factually correct leaks about its setting and what to expect from it. Despite these, Bethesda only last week revealed to the world the official existence of Fallout 4. And despite everything we knew up to the morning of its debut, we were still all blown away by it. For years, we've wanted a Fallout experience on a new engine in a new setting, with even more environmental depth and character potential than before. So it is with great sigh of relief that we finally have a chance to find out if the developer's latest effort will meet our expectations. Amongst all the other questions we have to ask, the most pertinent is how do you expand on a world that, after Fallout 3 New Vegas, probably couldn't offer that much more in terms of new gameplay mechanics and reasons to actually leave the vault. The trailer that you're watching right now holds plenty of potential as to how these questions can be answered. Whether it's the flashbacks to the past when the world came to an end on October 23, 2077, or the potential addition of flying vehicles to the otherwise on-foot Bethesda gameplay experience, so much is teased that you have to watch it several times over if you want to catch all the little hints that are thrown at you. Of all the pieces of information that were thrown at the audience, though, the most intriguing piece to speculate upon comes at the very end, as, for the first time in the series, we get to hear who could be the main protagonist speaking to his dog. Previously, any Bethesda game has featured a silent protagonist, but if the indications are correct, it appears that we will be receiving a much more story-focused experience this time around. Regardless of how this affects the character creator and how one would approach the core gameplay, this, if true, could be a massive shift for both the franchise and Bethesda. I personally love it when a developer tries to give a first-person protagonist a voice, as, in my opinion, the act of hearing the words that your character speaks while seeing through their eyes has potential to tell a much more personal experience. In the case of Fallout 4, I don't want to just experience the world and have an impact on it. I want to go on a journey with this character and see just what Boston has to offer. Of course, this could all be conjecture, and who knows what's actually in store for us. Either way, I can't wait to see what Bethesda has to offer this year. I know, you're shocked that this is at the top of my list. Over the past 10 months, I've tried my damnedest to tell everyone why they should be excited for Doom. From discussions regarding the combat, to the world structure, enemies, to puzzle design, I've heard it all, and I've tried to answer as best as any witness to the QuakeCon 2014 demonstration could. At times, it's almost made me bitter at how dismissive and untrusting some people have been of this product and the developer behind it. But every time this happens, I tell myself the same thing. Seeing is believing, and soon everyone will see. You'll see! In all seriousness though, I'm exceptionally excited for everyone to finally be witness to the work id Software has put into their latest title. And to those haters out there who doubt, who question whether Doom has any chance of being good or not, I have 3 things to remind you of. id Software has never put out a bad game. Doom is the next entry in a franchise that has never disappointed. And finally, of the nearly 2,000 people that attended the QuakeCon event, I dare you to find a single account with a disappointed opinion of the presentation. Go on, find one and share it with me. Email me at chrisdavis@4playernetwork.com or post it in the forums. Call my bluff. Either way, you guys are in for one hell of a treat once Sunday arrives and Bethesda opens E3 with their press conference. And I really, really hope you guys enjoy it. Well, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. We hope you stick around as Patron Week continues, and if you enjoyed this and everything else we've been sharing thus far, please consider donating to our Patreon campaign. And if you're already supporting us, thank you very much for your contribution. We couldn't make any of this content without your support. So thanks, and I'll catch you around.